It's Friday, and it's time to kick ass, just like I did to pancreatic cancer. And I'm going to keep celebrating that every single day. Let's go. On your mark, get set. Let me run that back. Because I love that Double Dare theme. Let's go. On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Brownsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Yeah, baby! Time to rock this joint. Good morning and welcome to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. And it is not, I guarantee you, it is not our final football Friday of the year because the XFL begins tomorrow. And Lord knows, while I'm working with these headphones on, unless wifey has plans to go driving somewhere, which I will be all over, we are going to check out the XFL. And if I'm on the road, I'm going to check it out on the road. And I'll find a way to check it out on the road. But I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited the USFL is back in April. There's football all over the place. There's an opportunity for old Snowman to go to the combine in Indianapolis. I didn't do it right. Chance for me to go to the combine in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I feel great. I feel fabulous. I want to thank you all for your prayers, for your good wishes, for your good vibes, and for keeping me up in the times I was down while I was battling blood clots, number one, and number two, pancreatic cancer. And in case you missed the news on Wednesday, it's the best news I've gotten in a while. The best news I've gotten since Jody said yes to me. I'm in remission. Dr. Raghunath made that official. We said that, and I'm going to cry here in a moment. And I'm gonna try not to. I'm smiling big, but I'm also on the verge of tears with this good news that we got. Jody asked Dr. Raghunath, we were waiting until April 4th to get the news that, I'm cancer-free and in remission. And his next words to me were, you're in remission now. 6 weeks early. 6 weeks early, y'all. That is the most incredible news I have gotten, because cancer in different forms took both my parents. Breast cancer took my mom last September, or September of 2021. And you all know prostate cancer took my dad in 2007. So my leaders are no longer here, so it's time for me to become one. And the fact that I have beaten pancreatic cancer, matter of fact, my buddy Victor Locke from Chicago, who's in the office this week, I will use a phrase that he told me. I gave it a stunner, a rock bottom, and a last ride, and a tombstone, and then covered it and counted to 3. I know that's not the exact phrase, but man, I feel good. I feel great. It's just a matter of maintenance now, which includes me getting on my medicine routine and staying on it. And I've been good this week. In fact, I took my meds this morning before I had a light breakfast. And a meal, and the meals that I have to have throughout the day, the meals that I have to have throughout the day, they got to be smaller than what I'm used to, because y'all know I love food. Y'all know I absolutely love food. But being 6'5" and now 235 pounds, and not having a pancreas and not having part of my stomach and a few other organs, I have to be careful, because I don't want to be running to the bathroom all day. And that's the final hurdle we have to clear, Snow Crew. And thank you, Ryan McCoffey, for that. Before we get to the whip around, let me say hi to some people. Eric Wallace was the first one in. Good morning to you. I told him thanks for pushing the button and joining the Snow Crew this morning. Victor Locke says, push that button. No, it's too early for that. Now time for Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. And here are the stars of Snowman in the Morning: Brian Snow and Cole Johnson. And Cole Johnson will be along here in just a few minutes. Ryan McCoffey, good morning, Snow Crew. Good morning to you. Ryan, what's the brew this morning, my man? Salute to Eric Walls. A Pizzle says, morning, Ryan McCoffey. And I know A Pizzle was in here this morning. There's that greeting. Good morning to you. Victor Locke said that would be so much fun to go to the combine. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. That's why I have a ton of work to do today, in between 3 other tapings I have to do. Sports Sensays at 105. That's going to be live. I think I have Speaking Our Truth this afternoon. That'll be at 2 o'clock. And of course, I got the Brian Snow Show at 6 p.m. That may not go depending on the confirmation I get from my guest. Victor Locke again. Excuse my language so early in the morning. You're a damn good leader to boot, sir. Well, thank you, Victor. I've had to learn a lot on the run. I've had to learn a lot on the fly. Leo G. Oh, snap. YouTube algorithm brought me here. Niners, baby. Damn right. Damn right. Leo, I love you. Bang, bang, Niner gang. All day long. All day long. And y'all know I've been a Niners fan since 1981. Matter of fact, the exact day I became a Niners fan forever was the catch. Now I don't have to explain that play. And the reason I don't have to explain that play is because, let me find it, is because you can watch it right here.
3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Clark caught it! Dwight Clark!
That made me love the 49ers forever. Forever. And the love of that and the Bulls, the Spurs, and the Warriors, the White Sox, the Cardinals, the Houston Astros. Speaking of the Houston Astros, the world champion Houston Astros, here's its main constituent and my Astros insider, one thereof, Cole Johnson. Good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody in the Fan Feedback Zone. Good morning to you, partner, and good morning to you all in the BS3 and the listening community.
I am dancing like a fool this morning because of the news I got Wednesday morning, and I'm not coming down from that high.
Why? Why should you? Why should you?
I won a battle. I won a battle that my parents unfortunately didn't, and they fought their asses off.
Mm-hmm.
They fought their asses off.
What? Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why force yourself to come down off that high? That's awesome, man.
I've been dancing around this house every day since. Every moment I've had a chance to.
Good.
Man, oh man. So this is the Snowman Slam. That's my brew this morning. It's peppermint, lemon zinger, and honey chamomile with a shot of emergency. And that and the elderberry gummies that my wife got me have really taken control and gotten my body better. So
good.
This is in salute to y'all. And I'm sorry I eschewed the whip around, but I was just so excited I had to spread the word.
Oh no, that's okay. I understand.
Man, alive. Mark Jones said it best during Florida State and Georgia Tech some years back. Man, what a time to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm actually surprised to get parts of it, considering that today is Michael Jordan's 60th birthday.
Salute to the king.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and you know what's wild? Brent Musburger called him the king before he actually became the king.
Mm-hmm.
Game 1, 1989 East Finals in the first quarter. So,
and he shot a 3 to do it.
Happy birthday, Michael Jordan.
To you, MJ. Thank you for giving us so many memories.
Damn. I mean, this is Michael Jordan at his best, doing something LeBron has never done. Get his teammates involved.
By 2. Has comes out of this possession. They want Michael to get a full head of steam, try to keep him in the middle of the floor. Well, Pippen got the snap. Here's Paxson for 3. Yes! The Bulls take a 1-point lead, and Phoenix calls for time with 3.
And of course, the legendary Marv Albert on the call.
Mm-hmm.
How did Jalen Rose say it on Get Up the one morning they Michael Jordan didn't always take the last shot.
No.
He did.
In fact,
While I'm throwing shade at the supposed king, the real king did something LeBron has never done. He got his teammates involved.
wait, and he inbounded the ball in that play, didn't he?
He sure did. And
Talk about a reversal of things. Yeah.
And what's the phrase? The most dangerous person on the court in a situation like that is the one inbounding the ball.
Mm-hmm.
See, why did Bronxexuals, riddle me this. Why did the Phoenix Suns let Michael Jordan get ahead of steam with a wraparound dribble in the backcourt? Why doesn't your king get his teammates involved? Well, to the point, why doesn't your king what's the phrase I'm looking for? Trust his teammates. Can I get a witness?
Oh my.
And Victor Luck, and it begins. I can already hear the Bronxexuals
gnashing their teeth.
Nick Wrong is crying. Ryan Hollins is cussing. Well, I had, Jody said this to me. She says, "You bring nothing but facts when you talk to the Bronxexuals." Yeah, and they hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they hate it.
Yeah.
We deal with a couple of them in a group chat, and we just shut them up with facts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why stoop to their level? You're like, let's prove why what we say is the truth, and what they say is basically a bunch of cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm. That's all they are.
Cheerleaders and hardcore romantic supporters. I mean, because they go in like their lover is attacked. Seriously.
They go in like I listened to on the audiobooks that my wife got me hooked on. Let's take a break. When we come back, more on his airness, and I pay homage to my Northwestern Wildcats in a special Snowman's Take. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Cause we take this job so serious.
Man, I went home that day and talked to my wife, Vicky. And Vicky was like, "What's wrong with you? You pissed off?" "Yeah, I got this partner I'm working with back in the radio station. Man. The Negro be lying. What in the all types of blue hell?"
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Oh, thank you, Chris Bates. Thank you, Chris Bates, for that gem.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, that was.
And thank you, Kurt Warner, for proving you right. I mean, that's going to be a running joke between Bates and I for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
For a lifetime. Let's go to the Fanatic feedback zone. And we left off here. Leo said 1989. I was 4. Yeah. Oh, man, but you got to love it. And so it begins, Victor Locke says. I can hear the bronze sexuals gnashing their teeth. Nick Wrong is crying. Ryan Hollins is cussing. And everybody at ESPN is a little pissed off at facts, which is why ESPN is slowly leading to their own demise because they're going to lose the NBA contract. I'll talk about that next week. They want pom-pom huevos, not haters. Well, they hate my ass. They hate my ass. And they hate Cole, too. The creation of a certain segment should answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because bronze sexuals don't see LeBron as a basketball player, says Victor. They see him as their brother, their nephew, their cousin, and to many, what did you say earlier, my friend? Their significant other.
Their significant other. Mm-hmm.
Look at Rod. Look at Keith, for that matter. Want me to admit LeBron's number 2. Bitch, please. Bitch, please. Oh, boy. Let's see. We spoke of his airness turning 60. And by the way, bronze sexuals, he can run rings around LeBron at 60. Then Yo Kang can do it 38. And this is a guy, according to Rod, who ate wrong, smoked cigars, and yet when he played, he was the most dominant basketball player in his era. Take that. Let's see. Baseball is on the way. Pitchers have reported. XFL starts this weekend. USFL starts. Oh, yeah. There's a team I need to honor while I have a few minutes.
Yeah, it was a USFL that starts in the spring. But yeah, SFL starts this weekend, right?
Tomorrow.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay.
Starts this weekend.
And so is the All-Star weekend. It starts today.
Who gives a crap?
Okay.
Yeah, I throw up on that. Matter of fact, if we have time, we'll eviscerate that. Meanwhile, I have a short Snowman's tape for you. Give it to me. The other reason I'm smiling this week, my beloved Northwestern Wildcats. My beloved Northwestern Wildcats beat 2 ranked teams within the span of a week. They beat number 18 Indiana 2 nights ago. And oh, by the way, they knocked off the number 1 team in the country in the Purdue Boilermakers. And they trailed in that game for much of it. But then the second half defense has come together. And for those of you that have said to me, they need to get rid of Chris Collins, shut up. What Chris Collins is to Northwestern basketball, men's basketball, is what Pat Fitzgerald is to Northwestern football, a legacy coach. He's what Bobby Bowden was to Florida State, to what Joe Paterno was to Penn State, to what Lou Henson was to Illinois men's basketball. Once again, a legacy coach is Chris Collins, because he is on the verge of taking Northwestern somewhere they've only been one other time, and that was 2017. And that is to the Big Dance. I'm not talking about the first four in Dayton. I'm talking about getting a seed that has them packing their bags and playing either Thursday or Friday. I'm talking about the Northwestern Wildcats. And I'm telling you, the Big Ten needs to fear these Northwestern Wildcats, especially a fellow by the name of Chase Audige, the main for the Northwestern Wildcats, just as Derek Parton was for them in 2017. I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm excited. And for once, you can pay attention to the Northwestern Wildcats. You can do what I have done since 1995. I've become a fan of the Northwestern Wildcats in all sports. I've seen the major sports play at Northwestern: football, basketball, baseball. Seen softball make it to the College World Series twice. I've seen Northwestern women's lacrosse win a national championship and come damn close to winning two others. So you want some attention to the Northwestern Wildcats? Here it is. Here it is. I'm so excited because I believe they're at 19 wins right now, 19-7. And my partner, Cole Johnson, who was an astute mind in college basketball, said 3 things will get them in. Knocking off a ranked team. They've knocked off 2 of them within a week. 20 wins. That's the next goal. And a quarterfinal appearance in the Big Ten tournament in Chicago.
At worst.
At worst. That's at worst. They win their next game, especially given how the committee feels about them over the years, because they've had some teams that could qualify for the NCAA tournament without 20 wins, and they didn't do it. They played in the NIT and kicked ass.
You can add a 4th. The committee loves a team that catches on fire right about now.
And here is that team, based out of Evanston, Illinois, the Northwestern Wildcats. The football team got screwed in 2020 because they were not supposed to play Ohio State. Let me say that again for all you conspiracy theorists. And Leo, who's your hockey team? Let me say this again for all you conspiracy theorists. Pat Fitzgerald and the Northwestern Wildcats got screwed in 2020 because they were not supposed to play Ohio State because Ohio State, according to the original rules, did not qualify for the Big Ten championship game. But this is about basketball. This is about NCAA basketball. This is about the fun that's happening right now in Evanston, Illinois. And this is about my beloved Northwestern Wildcats. I'm scrambling to get Dave Ennett on this program soon. Soon. It depends on his schedule. Dave Ennett is the fabulous play-by-play voice for Northwestern basketball, men's basketball, and Northwestern football. And he's also the sports director at WGN Radio, a place I happen to know very well in my hometown. My last 3 words are as follows. Go you Northwestern. That's Snowman's take. What is yours? Man, I'm so excited for that bunch. I'm so excited for that bunch of Wildcats.
Yeah, you should be, man.
Salute to Chris Collins. And good morning to you, Wise El Jefe. Leo G's team is the San Jose Sharks. Ooh, boy, oh boy. I hate to see the Sharks languishing in the Pacific Division. I want to be sure I remember the division names, but hey, salute to Chris Collins and the Northwestern Wildcats.
Totally.
When you knock off two ranked teams within a week span, hell, within 72 hours of each other, you got your ticket punched. You got your ticket punched.
Yeah, because that makes the resume look pretty nice.
Especially when you knock off number one.
One of those ranked teams was number one when you played them. Yeah,
and that was a comeback win. That was a comeback win. How the play-by-play man put it on a Big Ten Network? The improbable dream has taken an impossible turn. Just as the fans were storming the court, and they were wearing black that day.
Nice, nice play with words. I like that.
And a nice tribute to the late Vin Scully, who put the first spin on that. Yeah. Wise says out with the wife, so won't be on this morning. Man, have fun. Have fun.
100.
Because if Jody came in here and said, "Hey, get dressed, we're going out for a while," I'm gone. I'm gone. Like, I'm going out with my beautiful wife. Y'all handle this.
And I see you.
See him. Wouldn't want to be you. Hell, that's what I did in 2021. I missed this stream, but knowing how big of a fan Papa Blood is of IU, I bet he took that loss tough. It was a defensive battle, Leo. Defensive battle, and Northwestern was up by as many as 20 in that game. Indiana came all the way back to tied at 62, but then Northwestern got the winning points as time expired.
Yeah, it's as great of a win as it was for Northwestern. That is a tough pill to swallow if you're Indiana.
Ooh. And Indiana was ranked.
They might still be ranked, but I don't think they will be. They may be lucky if they're 20.
That 25 spot belongs to Northwestern. I'm just saying, you knock off two ranked teams in a week, including the number one team, and then Alabama was voted to number one, and they got knocked off by Tennessee.
Yeah,
this has been a nutty college basketball season.
Yeah, it has been.
It's been nutty.
I've lost track of how many teams have been number one this year,
or number two, because my pick to win it all got knocked off at number two twice. Arizona. This is the end of a medicine ball that I got from Starbucks, so I warmed it up.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. We got Sam Shady coming on in about 60 seconds. So, hey, Bronze Sexuals, how does it feel to know your king is a fraud? Hey, Bronze Sexuals, how does it feel to know Yo King ain't
oh man, not a fraud.
How does it feel to know your king is a fake? How does it feel to know Yo King can't play basketball? How does it feel to know that Yo King sucks a lot of monkey balls as a basketball player? How does it feel to know that it doesn't matter to us real basketball fans what he does off the court? It's what he does on the court that we judge. And frankly, he's not it.
In terms of being the best, he most certainly is not.
How does it feel to know that the era that was supposed to be from Kobe to LeBron went from Kobe to one Stephen Curry? I will say it again. How does it feel to know that the era went from, instead of from Kobe to LeBron, it went from Kobe to Stephen Curry? And I will tell you how it happened. There was a preseason game that was played between the Lakers and the Warriors. Kobe was defending Steph with everything that he had. Kobe Bryant played defense, by the way, Bronze Sexuals.
Oh, wow.
And this little dribbling wizard, all of 6'3" and 200 pounds, unloaded a three and buried it in Kobe's face. Trotting down the court, what does Kobe do in salute? Gives him a swat.
Yeah, he had a lot of respect for Curry.
Steph earned respect from Kobe. LeBron hasn't earned a GD thing from Kobe. He hasn't earned a thing from MJ or those who preceded him. Like we talked about. Michael Jordan never said he was the greatest. He honored those before him, including my first favorite player, Julius Erving. Where's your crown, King Nothing? Where is your crown? Where's his crown, Bronze Sexuals?
Oh, my gosh.
All right, let's talk some XFL football with Sam Shady. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, fellas. How you guys doing today?
Man, doing good. How are you?
I cannot complain. Ready for the XFL to kick off once again.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, that starts tomorrow. How excited are you to see the XFL back?
Oh, man. I mean, this has been something that really every spring football fan has been waiting for over 3 years now. So it's one of these things where the buildup has been so intense that this does not feel real to me. I've been waiting for this for 3 years, so we're finally at the point where we're going to see XFL football again. And it's, like I said, it just feels surreal. It doesn't feel like it's actually about to happen. I still feel, alas, I think we're past that point. I think they've got everything worked out, and I think we're actually going to see XFL football this Saturday.
Well, how does the XFL feel about the 3.0 version of the league debuting?
Well, I got to be honest. From what I've picked up on it, it seems like fans are more encouraged by the new ownership group that is The Rock and Danny Garcia than they ever were by Vince McMahon. I know Vince McMahon's a very popular figure, has a lot of fans in the wrestling community, obviously. But Danny Garcia and The Rock kind of transcend any one sport. The Rock specifically, he's so well known at this point, and he's got such a positive air around him, just based on how the kind of movie acting he does, the kind of person he is, all the stuff he does in the community. So I think that's a big reason why this XFL will be successful, because everybody wants him to succeed.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the games. The first XFL game in 3 years will take place at 3:00 Eastern Time. The Vegas Vipers and the Arlington Renegades. How nervous do you think those two teams are to be the afternoon feature game?
I don't think they're nervous at all. Rod Woodson might be a first-time head coach for the Vegas Vipers, but he's experienced. He's been through the NFL ringer. He went through the internship program to be a coach with the NFL several times. He's been a defensive backs coach, so I think he's prepared for this. And then on the other side of the field, Arlington, you can't be any more prepared than Bob Stoops. I think Bob Stoops is ready to roll. I think his entire staff is as good as it gets when it comes to spring football. So this is truly a test of a rookie head coach versus a veteran head coach, and a spring football veteran heavy roster versus an NFL veteran heavy roster. So it'll be very interesting to see exactly how this game shakes out this weekend.
That's a 3 p.m. kickoff on ABC. I will have my eyes in front of. I'm going to watch all the games. I'm just saying. I'm going to watch all the games. The next one, Orlando Guardians and the Houston Roughnecks. Houston was running roughshod over the XFL 3 years ago before it was called to a halt due to COVID. That's an 8:30 kickoff in Houston. Talk to me about these two teams.
Yeah, I like what you said there. Houston was undefeated in 2020. Unfortunately, this team is completely different from that 2020 team. I think there's only like maybe 2 players from the 2020 team that returned. While I'm encouraged by the roster that they built, I do not like their quarterback, Brandon Silvers, another 2020 XFL player. He's been out of football for a couple seasons. He did not play in the USFL. He played briefly in the FCF last season, but I'm not a big fan of his. They've also got Cole McDonald on the roster, which I expect to see start some games at some point this year. Former Hawaii quarterback, spent some time with the Toronto Argonauts, as well as some NFL time as well. So he's definitely got the requisite talent to play. And then on the flip side, Orlando is the team that everybody thinks is going to be the least talented in the league, due in large part to their quarterback position. Paxton Lynch came over from the USFL after basically being primarily a backup up until the end of the season. And honestly, a lot of us just aren't sold. You know, we don't know how DeAndre Francois is going to translate to the outdoor game, given that he had a lot of success in the FCF. But, you know, you also have Quentin Dormandy there. And right now we all know that Paxton Lynch is getting the first crack off the bench, but it says, or DeAndre Francois. So I would expect to see Francois in there as kind of like a change of pace quarterback as well. So maybe a 2 quarterback system in Orlando.
Game number 3 will be Sunday, 3 p.m. on ABC. The St. Louis Battlehawks and the San Antonio Brahmas. Break down this game for me.
Oh, man. So this is another game that is going to pit a lot of NFL veterans versus a lot of rookies or young guys that we may not know as well. Jack Cohn is the starting quarterback for the San Antonio Brahmas, former Notre Dame quarterback. Depending on who you are, you like him or you hate him. That's basically how it goes with the analysis of his game. He can play well. He can also play poorly. So it could be interesting to see how he takes to a starting role in the XFL. But then on the flip side, you got A.J. McCarron. Everybody knows who A.J. McCarron is. Former NFL quarterback. Spent a lot of time with the Cincinnati Bengals, some time with the Atlanta Falcons. Nearly won a playoff game for Cincinnati. But in my eyes, the Battlehawks roster is what you want to watch. They've built such a really well-rounded team that I truly believe they're going to be hard to beat. I have them number 4 on my rankings, and that has more to do with McCarron and his lack of spring football experience, which is a big deal, compared to the rest of his roster, which is very experienced when it comes to XFL, USFL, TSL, you know, these alternative football leagues, which are a lot different than the NFL.
Got a question from the Fanatics Feedback Zone for Sam. It's from Ryan McCarthy, our fellow XFL correspondent. If the St. Louis Battlehawks win their first 3 games on the road, how hyped would the home opener be in week 4 in St. Louis?
That's a real good question.
That's a great question, because if that happens, that's probably best case scenario for the XFL, because you go into that week 4 matchup when they finally get to play in front of a St. Louis crowd after 3 years of them not having a team. And that place is going to be hopping. That is going to be the stadium to go watch a game in this season. I have zero doubt in my mind about that. They were one of the best, most supportive crowds back in 2020. You know, big reason why is the NFL spurned them. They haven't had a team since the NFL left. So they want this back bad. So St. Louis is definitely going to be a team to watch in terms of attendance. I would not be shocked if they have a couple sellout games this season.
Are they going to open the whole stadium? because remember they closed off part of the dome, but then they realized, we got to open the whole thing up, because the first two home games for St. Louis, they had about 32,000, and then there was one, I'm trying to remember who they played, where they had a full house.
Yeah, I think they averaged around 27,000 fans there, for it was a 5-game stretch, so there was maybe 3 home games in there, 2 or 3 home games. I can't remember off the top of my head. So, obviously that skews the numbers a little bit, but that shows you how much support they had. That's unreal for a spring football league. So that's a big reason why a lot of people think the XFL 2023 will be successful. They're going to have a little bit more stable foundation. They won't have to fight with the COVID pandemic that we had in 2020. And realistically, they've got a really favorable TV deal as well with, ESPN Plus and Disney. Excuse me.
All right. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're fine.
Fourth and final game on the docket, the Seattle Sea Dragons and the DC Defenders. If y'all remember 2020, which is 3 years ago, I can't believe I'm saying 3 years ago. What the hell has happened to the time? But DC kicked off the XFL in 2020 in Washington. So they get a chance to open the season at home against Seattle. Talk to me about these teams.
So these are two of the more interesting teams in the league. I really like both of these rosters. I am, however, not a fan of Ben DiNucci. I think I have Seattle ranked 5th on my power ranking list. If you watch the game that he started for the Cowboys a couple seasons ago, he did not look very good. He ultimately ended up benched for another quarterback that had just been signed days beforehand. So I personally never like to see a guy come in off of a bad performance and having not played for several years since then. So that kind of worries me a little bit. He could come in and completely prove me wrong, but there is a little bit of bias at play here because his backup currently is Steven Montez, a Colorado Buffalo quarterback, a guy that made me a Buffaloes fan once again after about 10, 15 years of porous play by the college. So he's a guy that I want to see get an opportunity as well. He's still very young, still has a very good opportunity to end up back in the NFL. In fact, he was signed by the NFL after he was assigned to his team and then was released after the season and came back to the XFL already. So definitely somebody to watch to get NFL interest next offseason. And then on the flip side, the DC Defenders have possibly what, in my mind, the best quarterback room in the league. They're extremely versatile. You have Eric Dungy, who can play tight end. You have De'Aaron King, who's played wide receiver. You got Jordan Teamu, who is literally as good as it gets when it comes to spring football and is coming off a pretty decent 2022 season where he carried his offense in Tampa Bay. So I'm firmly encouraged to see him in DC in that offense. I personally think that we're going to see a little bit of all 3 quarterbacks, but it's going to be a situation where they're going to keep you on your toes. There is a rule in the XFL to where you can do a double forward pass. Yes. So there is a scenario where these guys come in as like a wide receiver, a tight end, an H-back or whatever, and then they run some trickery and King gets in there, catches a pass, and then throws it or something like that. So it'll be very interesting to see how they utilize all 3 of those guys. And I ultimately think DC is going to be one of the better teams in the league.
All right, time now for our XFL rankings presented by Monkey Knife Fight. Go to monkeyknifefight.com and use the code Snowman, and you get a 100% deposit match on up to $100 on your very first deposit. Number 8.
Orlando. No question about it.
Number 7.
That's going to be San Antonio for me.
Number 6.
Oh, man. Number 6, I believe I had... Oh, man. It's been a minute since I looked at my rankings. I believe I had Houston. Don't quote me on that.
All right. Number 5.
Seattle.
Number 4.
Number 4, I believe, was St. Louis.
All right. Down to the top 3. Number 3.
Number 3, I believe, was Arlington.
And in the 2 slot?
That would be the DC Defenders.
And last but not least, your number one team heading into opening weekend is
Rod Woodson led Vegas Vipers. I just don't
all
think you can
right.
argue with the talent he's built.
And those are your XFL rankings presented by Monkey Knife Fight. Go to monkeyknifefight.com, use the code Snowman, and you get a 100% deposit match on up to $100 on your very first deposit. That's Sam Shady joining us, taking us through more football. I love it. Sam, my brother, thank you so much. And thank you for allowing Snowman in the Morning to be aired on your network as well.
Yes,
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Together we're going to conquer this YouTube thing as far as I'm concerned. You know, you got the morning and the afternoon. I got the evenings and the weekends. So I think we got basically the entire week covered at this point. So definitely stay tuned to both of our channels. If you haven't already, subscribe to both of us because I guarantee you're only going to get better content as we continue to move forward. Speaking of which, episode 2 of Spring Football Reports drops Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to check that out if you're a XFL or USFL fan. We'll be talking both leagues all season long. So, and then also after that, if you haven't already heard, our guy Brian over here will be rolling through the CFL season in very similar fashion. So definitely excited about that as
Yes,
well.
indeed. Yes, it's a project I'm taking full head on. You know, I got my buddies Clark Monroe and Max Ritz up in Saskatchewan. Of course, you know Rod Peterson covers the CFL, so there's this program in development. Man, it's gonna be hot. So as Sam said, subscribe to both channels, and you'll see nothing but great content come from both. We love you, Sam. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, guys. Look forward to talking to you next week.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
Love
Thank
you, brother.
Have a good one.
Do, man.
We're gonna have fun with the spring football leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're gonna have fun. I saw. Misspelled it.
Yeah.
That's all right. Drew Willingham has joined us. Says, good morning, fellas. Good morning to you. Of course, I got Drew at 105 with the Sports Senseis Unleashed. And that's going to be jumping around a bit, courtesy of Drew's schedule and mine. But we're going to keep you going with that. Ryan McCarthy again. I remember they walloped the New York Guardians, and former Arena football great Joe Powell took back the only kick return in XFL 2.0 history. Yeah, they did. They did that. They did that. 7 minutes before the hour. And I can't wait to watch the XFL, man. I'm going to see. I want to see this. I want to see this. I want to see how loud the crowds can get, how big the crowds can get, because they need to be there to support their teams because they're playing in their home stadiums.
What I liked about the last iteration was I think they sort of got the message that they didn't have to go so far in the entertainment realm. That basically football fans just want football action, and if you provide a good enough amount of it, then you will get the return that you're seeking.
Yeah,
and I really believe, Houston was the best team then, but St. Louis was the story, and I think they will be the story this year too, because considering how Stan Kroenke just left.
He just left.
And the
St.
sad
Louis
thing is the sad thing is he promised he was going to stay. He says, "Well, we're not going anywhere. Yeah, everything is fine." Meanwhile, he had a stadium that was being built, which is now SoFi Stadium, out in Inglewood, right next to the Forum.
Yeah, enjoy that. Enjoy that championship while you have the energy left from it, because you're not going to enjoy another one. Not with the way you've treated the Rams, and not with the way you treated the St. Louis fans.
Yeah, because there's very few towns to me that are as rabid in football as St. Louis is, and that gets glossed over hard.
If there's ever a time for the Cardinals to return to St. Louis, It's now. I believe that. I believe it. Will it happen? No. Unfortunately.
No. They're now entrenched in the desert. But
if there was ever a time for them to return to St. Louis, it's now. It's now. Because St. Louis is a sports town.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to and through St. Louis. Thank you, Jody. I've been to and through St. Louis. They're rabid about their sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I've run into some fans that are wishing the Cardinals would return to St. Louis.
Yeah.
They don't want the Rams anymore because of Stan Kroenke. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have an email to send.
Oh, you were real busy. Okay.
Yeah.
You were real busy this
bit.
morning. All right.
I have an email to send.
All right. Let's see. If I can find it.
Uh-oh.
Can't find it.
Doggone.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. My bad.
Wait.
Or did I?
Bring it to this side.
I don't think I did.
Dag
I
nabbit.
thought I did, but I don't think I did.
Darn
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Darn it. What's up, Hawk TV? Coming to us from Atlanta.
Hawk TV, what's up, man?
And I have a call with the station in Atlanta this afternoon.
Oh, cool.
It'll happen right before I go on with the Sports Sensays at 105.
I hope it goes well.
I plan for it to go well. I plan to splatter them with 3 shows. The only time slot I can't touch is the one that belongs to Rod Peterson from noon to 2.
Mm-hmm.
I will not go after that slot because that's my buddy. I love him, and he's getting success here in the States.
Good.
He's getting success here in the States. Okay. Since we don't have the email, I'll do it this way.
This Braun Session Confession is brought to you by Braun Joy Juice. Braun Joy Juice, the ultimate joy juice of bronzexuals worldwide. Made with 100% organic seal milk.
On your mark, get set, and go.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
I didn't plan on this, but...
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I had a few of these conversations with bronzexuals. In particular, a couple are in a group chat that we both belong to and want to get the hell out of our lives. And I know it's not Wednesday.
As 3 of us
Oh,
in
I
the
know.
chat reminded us.
I know. Riddle me this, bronzexuals. Why'd Joe King take a week off if he had a supposed foot injury and we saw him dancing it up in a club and also at the Super Bowl?
Well, because the night that he passed Kareem on the all-time most prolific scorers list for a career.
He became an even bigger coward than he is now. Oh, I'm sorry.
His team took and This was not scheduled nor planned, sir.
No, it wasn't. So he shows up when they play the lowly Pelicans without Zion Williamson. That to me indicates that he's more of a coward than ever.
He had a decent night. 21
He's a coward. Didn't play against the Warriors, didn't play against the Portland Trail Blazers, and yet his ass was in the Super Bowl, and he expects his team to compete without him. You coward.
Well, he
You
misses.
transsexuals are cowards too to not admit that.
He misses being in the playoffs.
Say that again.
I said he misses being in the playoffs.
My response is the following very eloquently. Bitch, are you for real?
I mean, he tweeted that, when he wasn't getting any attention.
Okay.
And a full round of the playoffs went, and he tweeted that he was missing the playoffs and that he vowed to never ever ever miss the playoffs again,
which is bullshit because he's missing the playoffs this year.
But you can go back to your regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
Yes, LeBron, it is you. It has always been you. It always will be you. Period. You bronzesexuals can't stand it. You bronzesexuals can't fathom the fact that your king is a fraud. Let me say that again. For those of you in the cheap seats at the old Capitol Center. Give me this camera. Yo Kang is a doggone fraud.
A fraudulent king?
Yes. Just like Tom Brady. Give me this camera back. For the third time in 3 attempts, Yo Kang is a fraud.
That sounds very strong in wording.
How about this? LeBron James is trash as a basketball player. Period. I said it in 2001. I said it in 2002. I've said it in 2003 and every year thereafter, and it continues today. LeBron James is trash. Bronzesexuals, hear me well. LeBron James is trash. Trash as a basketball player. And Yo King is a fraud. Play against the sorry teams and fatten up your stats. Meanwhile, you have a foot injury against the good teams and you don't show up. Fuck you. And fuck you, bronzesexuals.
Wow.
Get the hell out of my face, you thirsty whores.
That's brutal.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty.
I have no idea.
To throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzesexual Confessions.
Hour 2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson begins right about now.
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2.
The hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2.
The one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2. Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2. That's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt
2 Chainz Cousins.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2 was El Jefe.
Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now.
And the final hour of the week of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson begins with Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson, and as always, we are joined at this time by the owner, the manipulator, and the operator of the BS3 network, the mighty Ben Sudduth III.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, fellas.
Good morning.
Friday to
Happy
you,
Friday
my
to
friend. All right, where do we start? No, Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins. Can't do that.
Good
I'm so proud of that line. I'm very proud of it.
No, listen, it is now entrenched in our hour 2 opening. That's the since you've been coming on the show, which now covers about a year and a half. That's the best line ever delivered. From Ben Sutter, the Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins, and then Cole finds that picture.
Yeah, which was perfect.
Cole finds that picture, that one, and then he puts it in the intro because the first time that Cole played the intro, I didn't get a chance to see it because I was ill. Man. He played the next day. I fell out of my chair laughing. Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite lines.
And the chains were heavier than him.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Way more than he did. Yeah.
The chains were heavier. He stood straight for all of 2 seconds. And then when they took the picture and said, okay, you're fine, he fell over.
He had to take those off.
He had to, because he wasn't going to fly on the plane with those heavy things around his neck.
Okay, so
now that we're officially in the off season, what's the first thing the Cowboys need to do to fix their team?
Stop saying, we're going to make a Super Bowl next year, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing. People stop predicting that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Just stop. Let's predict that they make it to the conference championship game. Let's start there first before we start talking about Super Bowl.
Well, you know how these Cowboy fans are, the ones with rose glasses. They're not going to stop saying, we're going to the Super. This is the same. This is the same fan base. When I was walking around Indianapolis, I ran into some Cowboy fans, and they said, we're going to make it to the Super Bowl, right? I leaned in one of their ears and I said, my team's beat you twice in a row, right?
Yeah. Your season's ended 2 years in a row before 49ers. Yeah.
Yeah, the same exact way.
They didn't like me after that. Like I said,
it's the truth. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Facts destroy fandom. What Victor says, fire Pennywise immediately.
Well, Victor, that's not going to happen.
No,
we know that, but I think for the time being, you're definitely going to have to shore up that defensive line. And when I say defensive line, I mean that defensive tackle in the middle. Definitely going to have to look at another wide receiver. I think hopefully, whatever the offense they're going to install, hopefully it works to Dak's strengths. And he's not passing the ball 40 times a game because obviously we know that doesn't equal success. I think you got to sign or franchise tag Tony Pollard. I know signing a running back to a second deal is not really correct in this day and age in the NFL, but at least maybe franchise tag him. I'm kind of on the fence of signing him to a long-term deal because that second contract, running backs normally don't perform the same way. Perfect example.
Zeke is a real good example.
That's Ezekiel Elliott.
And Zeke was a beast out of Ohio State. Like everybody thought he was going to be the next, Adrian Peterson, the next Emmett, the next whoever.
Yeah, he came out the gates firing. Yeah,
and it just didn't pan out. So they got some tough decisions to make.
Speaking of decisions to make, the Baltimore Ravens have a tough decision to make in terms of Lamar Jackson.
No, they don't. The decision's easy. Oh, so Lamar, you saying you want that Deshaun Watson money? We're gonna give you the amount. We ain't just gonna go give it to you all and guaranteed. But that's what I want. Oh, well, that's what you want. We'll franchise tag you. You see how easy that is?
Yeah, yeah. For the franchise tag is put control with the team, because then they can franchise tag that person if that person decides to play or not.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, that's on them. But the organization still contractually, has that player. So yeah, the Lamar Jackson situation I think is interesting because a lot of quarterbacks are getting paid that haven't done close to what he's done.
Right.
Kyler Murray got paid. Deshaun Watson got paid,
and they haven't done a doggone thing.
And
right,
you're entering exactly into the realm where when we were in these negotiation rooms, that's exactly what's going through Lamar Jackson's head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, look, I want an MVP, so you should pay me. But it's going to probably come down to the minute. I think they'll come to an agreement. I mean, Lamar has been there his whole career. Them starting over with who? I don't know who that would be. But to me, it makes sense to sign Lamar Jackson. He's proven that he's going to put his body and his everything he has into that team. So I think they'll make a deal happen, or else that whole city is going to be on fire.
They better,
Well,
because he fits Baltimore like a glove. Yeah.
I will say this: do not be surprised if the Redskins make a play for him.
Yeah, if the deal doesn't work out with the Ravens, the Commanders, I mean, there'll be plenty of teams that'll line up. The Jets, I mean, that doesn't really. I think teams will be there.
Jets will line up. The Redskins will line up. I'm going on a gut feeling, and it may I think it will be wrong, but for some crazy ass reason, I see the Redskins making a play for Lamar Jackson.
I'll say this: this is not what I want, but I see this going in this direction since the Ravens front office and actually the ownership group really is taking such a hardcore stance, saying, "Well, yeah, we don't believe a quarterback deserves to have a Deshaun Watson type of guarantee." Having him say that out front in the media, and you have a quarterback where you've been negotiating for now almost a year in doing so, I really believe, unfortunately, I want them to come to agreement. I just don't think they will. I see the franchise tagging him, and then I see Lamar actually saying, "Oh, okay, so you don't want to come to terms? Peace." And he sits out next year. I don't want that to happen. I believe that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I don't want that to happen either. I don't want that to happen, but at the same time, he's leaning on something he did 3 years ago. And now that Greg Roman is gone, what is next for this Baltimore offense? That's a question that they need to answer. They got to shore up that offensive line first and foremost.
And I think when we look at the NFL landscape, Jalen Hurts is a almost a carbon copy of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Now I think his accuracy may be a little bit better, but as far as his running style, they're the same. So that I think what happens with Lamar could also be what could happen with Jalen, because we can say, yeah, they'll pay Jalen, but who knows? Who knows what if they'll pay him a major, big time contract. So I think both of these, the Lamar situation, I think could possibly, go into what the Eagles are going to do with Jalen Hurts.
And who set the bar just a few years ago? He's now a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Yeah.
But see, the difference with Patrick, and I've said this several times, the difference with Patrick Mahomes and folks like Jalen Hurts, who can now enter the realm, and Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, who are nowhere near there, Kyler Murray, same thing. Patrick Mahomes has done some things. He's won 2 MVPs.
Oh, yeah. He's got the hardware.
He's won 2 Super Bowls. And he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. So why wouldn't they want to lock him in to a long-term deal, which they did immediately?
Oh yeah, after that first one, they gave him a blank check.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and he filled it out.
And that was after the first Super Bowl victory.
That was after Super Bowl 54. Ryan says, I'll throw in a dark horse for Lamar, Tampa Bay.
That's a good place for him to land. And he's a Floridian. So, there's to throw more weight behind that, Ryan. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, any team that needs a quarterback is a possibility. Hell, New Orleans, that's a possibility. I mean, at this point, the teams will line up because he is a generational talent, and he's been one. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I mean, I could see him sitting out because I mean, if his money is good? What's the point of playing on a 1-year deal and then something happens and then you never get a contract?
And then you're talking about a guy who has missed the last 5 games of each year, the last consecutive 2 seasons. So, you have that, and I know in his head he's probably thinking, I have been, I've missed all of December 2 years. I've missed some of November 2 years in a row. I haven't completed a full season. I might be of more value if I actually sat out. Yeah, I can see him thinking that.
Yeah.
And that would be a mistake for him to think that way and do that, because I can pretty much guarantee the franchise tag is coming for this coming season. It's coming.
So you basically saying this is an audition year for him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which early in the season last year he was the MVP candidate, and then that injury happened,
and
the Tyler Huntley show.
It hasn't done a doggone thing since. It hasn't done a doggone thing. Meanwhile, in Arizona, they gave Kyler Murray his money because he pouted.
Oh my God!
Same situation.
Kyler Murray, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't even played a full season. I don't think he played a full season.
You know what gets on my nerves? Save my friend Michelle, who's a Cardinals fan, but she knows what's going on. She knows what's happening. These Cardinal fans act like Cowboy fans. They have we have a franchise quarterback. No, you don't.
You have a quarterback.
Yeah, you have a quarterback,
but you ain't got a franchise. You don't have Kurt Warner. You ain't got a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and they fumbled with Kingsbury. I mean, the guy couldn't win at Texas Tech, and you expect him to win at the highest level?
Yeah,
that made absolutely no sense.
Never made sense with me. I'm thinking to myself, what value do you see in this guy? And he proved on a level below yours that he isn't successful.
With a school and a team that loves to throw the football, and he had a sub 500 record.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. And now they're stuck with Kyler Murray forever. How long that deal is?
Yep.
Yeah. Which he would have needed to prove longer. You needed to prove that that his talent
another 2 years.
Yeah. They jumped on that one too early.
He needed another 2 years. He was not ready when he came into the league. He was not ready. He was not polished. He could not throw the football well. He couldn't pinpoint it where he wanted to pinpoint it. And now with AJ Green retiring, where the hell is he going to throw the ball to?
Oh, I'll add this too. It's quite possible they might not have DeAndre Hopkins either.
Oh yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins is out of there.
Yeah. The Cowboys, a lot of Cowboys fans are on the D-Hop train. So yeah, if he's out of there.
Listen, I will tell you a team he will sign with for 1 year at a very cheap rate, and they'll use the hell out of him. And thank you, Ben. You know who that team is? San Francisco. Think about how they spent their draft capital, and they're getting some draft capital back. Ben's back with us. Think about how they spent their draft capital to get Trey Lance, and Trey Lance is going to be sent packing, I believe, in the next couple of months. You take that money and you take care of who you need to take care of. 1, Christian McCaffrey. 2, Nick Bosa. Who says San Francisco can't snatch up D-Hop on a 1-year deal, even though they have stud wide receivers already?
There's your problem. The space. The space. That's the only
wide receiver room. The wide receiver room. You're right. You're right, because their number one is Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
And you quickly have Brandon Ayuk being that number 2 receiver.
And congratulations to him having a 1,000-yard season too. Yeah.
Thank you for that, and congrats to Brandon Ayuk. Hawk TV, I'm hoping AJ Green comes back. Nope, he's retiring.
He's retiring. He's calling the quits.
He's retiring. Let's go back to Ben real quick. Where's the best landing place for DeAndre Hopkins?
It ain't back in Houston.
No. And also D-Hop would, and you bring up such a great point, that he'd also have to contend with, George Kittle.
Yeah.
The man who makes ridiculous one-handed catches for a living.
Yeah. And it's not that D-Hop isn't a team player.
Right.
It's that he's such a volume usage type of guy, where if you basically know he's on the field, you're gonna have to go to him you have to target him at least in a game at least 8 times.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get that many targets,
and that will be taking targets away from Deebo and from Ayuk.
Right. And if he's not getting that,
and from McCaffrey. So I don't want D-Hop in Frisco. I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
I've changed my mind.
Now, I'll say this.
Drew says Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean,
yes and no.
He could fit there. I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want him to go there.
No.
Giants.
How much usage would he get in Green Bay?
Yeah, it's true. No, he probably gets some uses at Green Bay. The Giants need someone like him. I agree, A Pizzle.
Yeah, D-Hop would be great with the Giants.
He'd be great with the Giants. He also would be great with the Ravens too.
D-Hop would be great with the Giants.
I like him. I like the Giants fit best.
Brian Daboll needs him.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Brian Daboll needs him, because in that game in Philadelphia, in the divisional round, that's where you need DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. And I think it would be a best of all worlds. I think his presence would improve Daniel Jones and get his confidence up.
Right.
Daniel will be unafraid to go in D-Hop's direction as often as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he could have a really good presence in the wide receiver room and actually making the other wide receivers raise their game up. So best of all worlds. And then you put some weight off of Saquon Barkley's shoulders.
Yeah. And then you pull a lot of weight off of Daniel Jones's shoulders also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Daniel Jones has had to carry the offense in Barkley's absence also.
Right. To answer this question, Ryan, yes, he can run block. He does a pretty good job run blocking. He just hasn't been asked to do as much of it when he was in Arizona.
How about another wild card team? How about the Redskins? Can they make a play for him?
They can make a play for him. They can make a play for him. There certainly is not a wide receiver that's nearly as talented as he is on the squad right now. So yeah, he definitely can make a play there. The only issue with that, who is going to be the guy throwing the ball to him? Because if it's Carson Wentz, he should bypass DC altogether.
I said it'll be Lamar Jackson.
Now, if it's Lamar Jackson, that might pique his interest. That might pique his interest.
It'll be Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Who's he going to sign? Who's he going to sign a 1-year deal with while Baltimore figures out what to do with Lamar Jackson? And B, does Washington make a move on Jackson now?
I think if Washington had a more favorable first round draft pick, I'd say they would have. I'd say they would make a move for him. They would make a play for him.
Yeah.
Ben, but now they would have to devote more stuff to them to get Jackson there.
Well, we've lost Ben, unfortunately. Back in action. Ben, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, brother.
What do the Dolphins do with Tua?
The responsible thing should be, Tua, you the man. We love you, bro, but you're going to have to think of another career choice because we do not want to risk you having more damage done to your brain that already has occurred. And I'm saying this, and I like Tua. I like Tua on the field.
Yes.
He actually shown improvement.
Yes, he has.
He actually showed improvement. He actually looked really good on the field last year, but this past year. But
what did I say a few weeks ago? Tua needs to walk away now, and the Dolphins need to pay him.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, exactly.
And
actually, that perfectly stated, bro. You need to hang it up. But you know what? We're gonna help you though. The rest of the contract you have, we're gonna honor that, and we're gonna pay that. And I think that would be the move that the Dolphins need to make.
You need to recover and get back into society. Don't worry about us not honoring your contract. We're going to go ahead and lock it in and guarantee it. We're going to go ahead, lock it in and guarantee it. Could he land in Detroit? Are you talking about Lamar Jackson?
No, I'm talking about D-Hop.
No.
Detroit doesn't need him.
Detroit's growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Detroit doesn't really
seen that all year.
Yeah.
Victor is our Bears and Lions insider coming next season. Drew Willingham is our Redskins insider, and this is for Snowman Multimedia and Legacy Maker Sports Network. I think Dan Campbell and Jared Goff are at the hip in Detroit. Yeah, they are.
Of course they are.
Goff is the man,
especially after this past year. Oh yeah, I mean they started 2-6. They bonded. They came within an eyelash of a playoff spot, and they knocked off a divisional rival to get there. I mean, to get to their end of the season.
And they swept the Chicago Bears for the first time in years.
They swept the Chicago Bears. They swept the Green Bay Packers too. So
the Packers and knocked the Packers out of the playoffs, beating them at their own game.
And they came within a touchdown pass at the gun, and we could have said they would have swept the whole division.
Yes.
But 5-1 in the NFC North, that's a pretty good start. That's a pretty good building block for the Lions.
Pretty good start for those two. Chris Bass is on the way. You got Snowman, you got Cole Johnson here. We're going to take a small break, and when we come back, we're going to kill 120 seconds, and then the boom shakalaka will happen. So hold on to your seats. Snowman and Cole Johnson, Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. 4 men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Dog, and H-Rap-B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap-B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
The is that?
Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Down the stretch we come on this Friday edition. And for the week, planning on bringing back the best of Snowman in the Morning to debut tomorrow. So that means I got some cutting to do. I got some editing to do. And I gotta say, man, because of you and because of Wise, I have stepped up my editing game. I have learned a couple of new programs, and thanks to Sam Shady for access to one of them, I am now cutting video the same way I cut audio with a trained eye and a trained ear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you have it, it's amazing how when you discover it, how different your product looks. Yeah.
I learned to do audio with tapes. I used to mix stuff together with tapes and extend stuff all the time because I had a double deck tape recorder. Anybody remember those?
Yes, I do.
I went through 3 of them. One of them was my mother's. But I don't know. 10, 11 years old, here I am mixing stuff together, and it's like, hey, okay, this sounds good. But then I learned how some things can be just a little bit off key and it throws you off. Learned more of that when I got to college. All right, enough yapping. Here's what I say to you, my friend, and I'm giggling already. Push the damn button.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Loser finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container because I need some after watching Screaming Nate Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
And he's here. The only way to close out a Friday. The Bronze Guard. The transporter to Hades. And our dear friend, Mr. Chris Bass, joins us this morning. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, everybody. Hearty good morning, boom shakalaka to everybody. Good morning to Rayman. Good morning to the mad scientist. Shout out to Wise All. Everybody, comment section. Boom shakalaka to all.
And a good morning to you, the reformer of hookah whores.
I try. I try, Lord.
I hate you, Cole.
What? What'd I say?
And I know it's part of the description.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. The day you said that, the day Bass said to all the hooker whores.
To all the hooker whores.
And said it with a straight face.
Yes.
You don't want to leave anybody out.
No, you don't.
You have hookers and whores and hoes. So you have to just combine it. You don't want to leave anybody. I don't want to offend or unnerve. So
unnerve.
Right. You don't want to offend or unnerve. So hooker whores became the moniker for those people. Yes.
And now it is in our lexicon. What was the episode called where I gotta bring my soundboard here? I gotta know something, and I know I was in the hospital when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
What was the episode that had Bass saying,
"What in the all types of blue hell?"
That is now a part of our lexicon also.
I think you were out the hospital then. It was
Was
one.
I out or just at home?
Yeah. It was one like in the early summer. It was one in the early
I
summer.
had just gotten done with my wound treatment.
Mm-hmm. I got
it was Memorial Day weekend. I just had gotten done with the wound treatment on my feet.
Yeah, there's another one. There's
Lord.
another one that Chris said later on in the summer, and I got to comb the episodes for that one where he said something different, but he said it more animated, and I wanted to find. I still got to find it, but that one was hilarious too. Oh Lord,
we're paying homage to Chris Bass this morning,
and Wise says he's a basshead.
Oh well, thank you, Wise. I had to reclaim the thing about bass heads because back in the day, well, people still do crack, but back in the day when the crack epidemic was hard, it was called a bass head. And so when I was looking back, the so-called market myself in PR, I figured, okay, I'll make it positive. I'm a positive guy. I don't do crack. The only thing I have is the crack of my ass, and that's about it. So to call people bass heads who are, following what I do is the term of endearment, not to say that you're, a crackhead from back in the day.
Not to be confused with Night of the Living Bassheads. Thank you, Public Enemy.
Right.
Oh, look,
right.
man. Look. If I had the rights, that'd be my theme song. I love Public Enemy. In fact, Chuck D and and that album, that first one they did, made me go pick up the autobiography of Malcolm X that's told to by Alex Haley. Because of them, I read about Malcolm X, and so that's how powerful they were to me in college. And I miss conscious rap. I really do. I mean, it was something that obviously made you think. Because I've heard of Malcolm X, but at the time when Public Enemy would use excerpts from his speeches in their music,
right?
I had to go investigate. So again, you get the X cap, and not just to be a social statement. Back in the day, you wore the X cap on your head.
Right.
What does the X mean?
What does it mean? Right.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Well, I had no choice because I think by the time I was able to comprehend anything, my father talked to me about Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad talked to me too. God rest his soul. There's one thing I have been looking at a lot of to like keep my positive energy. And Cole, you know this, and Bass, you know this too. I've been looking at a lot of old school game shows lately. And anyone who knows me or knows of me knows that the king for me is The Price is Right. The old school version with Bob Barker. I can't look at it now the same way I did before. I mean, Drew is doing a fabulous job. Don't get it twisted. He is.
Oh, the new program versus
the new versus the old. And they just about kept everything, but now they revised it because Drew is a younger host. Bob's 99 now, for God's sakes. It seems the same, but it's not. Am I off in that assessment?
No. I mean, that's what happens in any type of position, say in programming.
Yeah.
When a new host comes in, we all know this, when a new host comes in, they put their DNA into it, and then it becomes their show.
Yeah.
Anytime, whether it's programming, whether it's television, whether it's radio, to replace a legend, that's always difficult. So I remember I was asked that question on an interview, what would you do if you replaced a legendary person on radio? Would they be big shoes to fill? And my reply was, they have their pair of shoes. I start my own new pair and start my own walking.
Right.
And that's the only way to do it, because that legacy of that host, just like Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and things like that, you have to just let it be. I mean, people are going to make comparisons anyway, but that's the era gone by. And now the new person, he or she, comes in and establishes their path.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. You know,
That's a good way of looking at
the
it.
way I understood, you know, when I established my path at Chicago State, and the person who gave me a chance, John Kalidas and I were talking last night. I said, I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. And he said, well, you made that station go. You made that station go with your sports programming, and you made it go with doing your play-by-play. And Bass and I shared a mic, and bless you, Bass, for this, shared a mic in 2009 when we were covering Chicago State together. And you want to talk, y'all know my favorite announcer team is Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr. See, Bass was like a low-key Johnny Kerr, but every once in a while something would happen and it would make him lean back and scrunch his face together the same way I would. Like, there was a game where a dunk happened and all I heard from Bass was, nice play. And I nearly laughed my head off when that happened.
Well, I wasn't trying to make you laugh. My honest reaction was to say, "Oh, she." I mean, that was my honest reaction.
Yes.
Of course, you can't swear. So I
Right.
had to find another word to replace it. But those dunks and those type of moments when you see it in real time, like, oh, yeah, type of thing. But you can't say it. But yeah, you have to refer to another word. So
Yeah.
that's how that happened.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to make nobody laugh. I was just trying to not to swear.
Understood, because there were moments I wanted to swear and I couldn't because I'm leading the broadcast. Speaking of dunks that made you go, ugh, his airness is 60 today.
Oh man, happy birthday.
And you want to talk about some dunks that made you cringe? The early dunks in his career where he's taking on everybody?
I love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, he did have some cringeworthy dunks. But to me, just a little bit higher was Dominique Wilkins. Dominique had that lean in, I mean, just authoritative, just in your face. Just he wanted to destroy you.
Yes.
When he came at you. So they didn't call him the human highlight film for nothing. That dude was serious.
True.
That dunk off between him and Jordan here in Chicago at the All-Star game that year.
1988.
I knew it would be Jordan because Jordan, of course, is the favorite and was on the come up. But man, I had arguments over the years with certain people. If Dominic would have won, I would have been mad. Because Neek was that dude, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Neek
was,
fantastic.
man. I mean, I've made this contention. I've had people argue with me about it, but I don't care. There has not been a good All-Star weekend since 1988.
And that's sad.
And I'm talking about the dunk contest. I'm talking about the three-point contest. You know what happened in Chicago? Larry Bird put his finger above before and was walking away before the ball went in the hoop. And of course, the All-Star game, MJ scored 40.
Didn't take off his warm-ups.
Didn't take off his warm-up. Walked in and said, "Who's shooting for second place?" And I believe that was the third consecutive year he won the three-point contest.
It was
Dallas, Seattle, and then Chicago. There's not been a good All-Star game since. Why has the All-Star game sucked ass? Why is also matter of fact, let me put this in the form of a question for the chat and for the panel. Why has All-Star weekend sucked ass since 1988?
Because it got soft. It doesn't have the edge that it had. And I think sometimes, no offense, when people make a lot of money, sometimes they rest on their laurels and don't think they have to compete anymore. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't apply to every player.
Right.
I think sometimes when you've made the echelon and you stop fighting and you
applies to the collective. Yeah.
Oh my, you got the bag.
Yeah.
So why should I put in 100% like I did before? I got the bag. I could take it easy. I could just phone it in and things like that. And so players like that, I think, were a lot. Because remember, years ago when we saw the phenoms of, say, like a Kevin Garnett and Kobe, something like that, come out of high school.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you say all these guys come out of high school at 17, 18, and they get a 3-year contract, and they'll blow it. And they become bust because in their minds, they made it already. Why should I put in hard work? I've never seen this money before. So I'm just going to rest on my laurels and just, phone in, like I said before earlier just now. So what happens is the product becomes kind of weak when you have these players that come in, and that's why they changed the age. Because remember, they said you had to be a certain age to get into the NBA because all that money they lost with the high schoolers. So now, over the years with the G League and everything else, it's still a good brand, and it went international, going back to former commissioner David Stern of the NBA. They got the international flavor to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think at the same time, you giving up one for the other. And I think on the same point, when it comes to American players, it's different from foreign players because, as you know, with certain basketball teams, certain players are only taught one position, not all 5.
Right.
And that's a whole different position to play when you only know one. Now, you play with other 4, obviously, but in other countries, you play all 5. No matter what your height, no matter what your situation, you play all 5 to understand the mentality of all 5 positions. So we've seen over the years, for example, in international contention, USA basketball and the whole Olympics, where other teams, after the first dream team was like, we got the blueprint now, and started to soar over American players. So I think what happens over time is that the old adage, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. So the NBA has done great to flourish on an international front, but look what's happening back home. And just going back to the All-Star event, that was like must-see event.
Yeah, it was.
You couldn't keep people away that had tickets to go see the event, and they still do, because it's like anything else. You go there, it's like old home week. You meet people you haven't seen in years, or people that you got a chance to meet, and it still has that flavor to it. But the over marketing of it, of course, everything's sponsored. This fart is brought to you by Sprite. I mean, everything that somebody does is sponsored. Don't get me wrong. I understand we all understand how we get this, but still it's saturated and it's overload. And some of these players just don't really have the talent to be in the NBA All-Star weekend. I'm sorry.
Let me go back to 88 in Chicago. Chick Hearn and Johnny Most teamed up to call that game on the radio. Jim Durham did it on national radio. Jim Durham did it for local radio. Of course, Jim and Johnny were the voices of the Bulls up until 91 when Jim left. After 88, the only other 2 All-Star games I watched in full, 1998 in New York, where MJ put on a show and was voted All-Star Game MVP, and 2003 when he hit it in Atlanta, his last one, when he hit an impossible shot in overtime in Atlanta. And when I say he hit an impossible shot, he hit an impossible fadeaway where he was going to fall into the crowd. Since then, I've seen nothing.
Here's another reason why the All-Star weekend has become a little less. You just named Larry Bird participating in 3-point competition.
Yes.
You named Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan competing, not only competing in the slam dunk competition, but actually competing in the finals of it.
In the finals.
One of these things is not like the other if you were to put that one in 1988 to what we're probably going to see tomorrow and Sunday.
I'm not watching it.
And that is along with what Bay said, which I totally agree. The league the players have gotten soft, and as a collective, not every player, but as a collective,
as a collective. Let's make that clear, especially to you bronsexuals. As a collective, the league has gotten soft.
Also, as a collective, the players have gotten a bit entitled. It's to the point. I mean, it's to the point now where you have cats like John Moran who he wants to jump out the gym every chance he gets.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually tweeted when he was asked about wanting to be in about being in the slam dunk competition, he tweeted, "No, I ain't doing it."
Mm-hmm.
You have that mentality now, whereas when we were all three of us, when we were all growing up, it was like we got a chance to see the best of the best, not just in the game itself, but in these competitions, show that they have other things that they could do, or things that they do well, and they can show off the most. And we got into the product more. Now we get into the product less, because it's like who wants to see, seriously, who wants to see 18, 19, 20-year-olds that even hardcore NBA fans don't even know the names of slam of basketball?
You know, we're talking All-Star game. Chris Bass has joined us. Yeah, I mentioned it's not been a good All-Star game or All-Star weekend since '88 in Chicago. And I know I'm going to get a lot of arguments for that, and I don't care. But I know what I'm used to, and I know what I've seen. You know, Bass can say the same thing, and so can Cole. Everybody on this panel can say the same thing. You know what else is missing in the All-Star game? How about the competition?
Yeah.
How about the fact that a coach is allowed to coach the players?
Here's another aspect. Normally, the All-Star weekend, normally when we were growing up, it normally was also a launching pad. Talking about the competition, it normally was a launching pad for certain individuals. If they did well there, more eyes were on them.
Again, 88.
Yeah, and we saw that. Jordan is a prime example of that.
Yes,
I mean, people knew. Of course, you two in Chicago knew, because you had a 4-year head start on the rest of us,
right?
But nationally, outside of course, oh yeah, that's that guy who hit that jumper when he was in North Carolina for the national championship back in '82.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I knew of him, obviously,
right?
But nationally, Michael Jordan was more than just the guy who sold shoes and played for the Bulls,
right?
You know, because
he only had a couple of national games, because at the time, and Bass, you remember, the NBA was on CBS.
Yeah. And it was all about the Celtics and
it was all about the Celtics and the Lakers. The Bulls snuck in a couple of times,
right,
when they played Milwaukee
right.
in a playoff series, and then a regular season game in '87 where Vern Lundquist was on the call. Of course, that Magic game in '86 in Boston,
right,
when he came back from his injury. Bass, you
have that going, and you have the platform in Chicago in '88. Of course, yes, he won in '87 too. But you have the platform in '88 where it literally felt like it was a christening of a new NBA superstar, where it's like, you cannot take your eyes off this guy. He's going to do something huge in the future. You knew it then. The only other time we saw that happen, and of course it was not nearly to that degree, was 2000 with Vince Carter.
Bass, the floor is yours.
No, I go back to Cole, because he makes a very valid point about it seems as though, like anything else, that it takes on hills and valleys when it comes to NBA. NBA weekend is concerned. I still watch it because I'm still a fan of the game. I'm still a fan of the sport, and I'll check it out anyway. Now, even though there's been major changes, even though there's been obviously differences when it comes to, again, marketing and how it's presented, it's a new day, it's a new era, and so I try to embrace it. But I think sometimes, if you, from programming perspective is concerned, when you look at how everything is put into play, and now you got these bands to come out, and you got these performances, little mini concerts, stuff like that. I know, like I said before, I go back to my original point. It just becomes oversaturated, and to the point where I can take the oversaturation if the other contest was still in play. It still had the excitement, like the 3-point contest and the dunk contest. If that was still in play from the standpoint of it having excitement is concerned, I'm still on board. I'll be more excited. But no, I approach it, I watch it. If some band that usually I'm not familiar with, I'll put on mute, go to the bathroom, and then come back and then check out what I can check out. But yeah, I just think that sometimes, if you're not careful, over marketing can be oversaturated. That's how I see it.
Have a lot of fans, Base, do you think, checked out
point, Chris.
of watching All-Star Weekend?
I think to some degree, I think that still the excitement of your favorite player or players or teams is still there, and they'll rock with them, whoever they are. And I think that that's still going to be there regardless of how other people feel. But I think that when the player, like John Morant making the statement, I don't want to be in a dunk contest, that speaks volumes, because you would think that someone like him would relish in being in a dunk contest. Someone like him is 6 feet, 6'1", explosive, get to the rim. He reminds me a little bit of Allen Iverson, when it comes to that explosiveness.
Yeah.
And that type of determination from that size is concerned, you don't really see it that much, because again, you talk about someone once again 6'1", but it doesn't matter if you have the heart. So when you have the heart combined with that, I think that will go a long way. I'm sorry that Ja does not want to be a part of the contest. It would have been exciting to see him in there. But, it's one of those things where hopefully the league and the NBA will try to find ways to improve, and I know they've done their best. Because the one thing I don't want to see is them just eradicate the whole thing. And that would be a crime.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's the next step.
That's sad, man.
It is.
That is, and it is sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's sad, and it's awful that we've come to this point, but Base said it best. It's oversaturated.
And you're 100% correct, Base. It is extremely oversaturated. And yes, it's like I don't necessarily need to hear that the 3-point shooting contest is sponsored by one soft drink, and the slam dunk competition is sponsored by another, and the Legends game is sponsored by another, and the Rookies game is sponsored by another, and the All-Star game is sponsored by another product.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't hear that back in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, by 95, it started to shift. It started to make its change. And, the Hawk TV throws in, also, it's bad when you have guys in the G League. In the G League now. They're not supposed to touch the NBA, but they're participating in the slam dunk contest.
Good, because they're hungry. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good part. Yes. But the bad part is you get, and you've gotten this now for over a decade. Who?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? We don't know him. I don't know him.
I mean, there hasn't been a dunker for me that has come out of nowhere. For me, that was Spud Webb in '86.
Right. Yeah, you go who, and you multiply that by 20,000.
Yep.
And you have the collective. Okay, we could really give a crap about this.
I want to talk about this. Base talked about it. The mini concerts that.
The mini concerts that does introductions. Oh God, that's
the mini
that makes me sick.
The mini concerts that hover over the introductions and take the place of the introductions. You got players coming out rising up from the floor. I mean, what if some of them, and this is a real thing.
You got the Rock,
I talk about mental health a lot. What if
some of the Rockettes doing dance routines? Yeah.
What if some of them are claustrophobic and they got to wait 5 minutes? You know what that does to a person? I'm not saying that it has. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, and I wish that on no one, because for a while I was claustrophobic, and they're waiting down below the floor to rise up. No, I don't like that. Just introduce them from the bench the way that they did back in the day. You can have your concert at halftime.
Yeah,
I'm all for the introduction. Don't be wrong. Things change, people change. I'm all for it.
Right.
It's just that the oversaturation of once again the sponsorships. I get it, but it seems like a little more in your face than usual. They could come out of a hole. They can come out. I don't care as long as you're there to play the game. It reminds you know what all this reminds me of? Rocky 3. So remember, Rocky is civilized. And he has the big fanfare around him, and Mick is like, "Let's get back to the gym, Rock. You're not supposed to be here." So that reminds me of Rocky 3. It's all over the place. And just get back to sorry, Mike. Just get back to basics, and then you'll be fine. I think the NBA is beyond basics, but it reminds me of that. You had the old school basketball coach, no matter he or she, would say, "Look, let's get back to the gym. Become more like a gym rat like you used to be. You become too civilized." And I think that's how it is now with the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's Rocky 3 from that perspective, that scene.
Especially the first Clubber Lang fight.
Yeah.
That's what the NBA All-Star introductions reminds me of.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Now you really want to shock the NBA players? Go recruit some players off the street.
Yeah.
The dunk contest. That will wake them up.
True.
That will wake them up. You gave them like a prize of say
right.
$100,000, whatever it's going to be, $50,000. That would change their lives completely. Get some hungry people from the street or whatever, and then bring them in. Oh, I got one better. If you brought in college players,
yeah,
the dunk contest,
yeah,
and you see these rising up. We know what happened back with the Dream Team 1.
Yes,
the documentary. Those college players kicked their asses all over the place.
Yes, they did.
So who's to say you can't take that same mentality and put it to the NBA All-Star Weekend? Because look, we got the NIL. Everybody's great with money now. Bring some selected college players who are great dunkers. Put them in the contest. I bet you some NBA players will wake up.
I bet you they would too.
Adam Silver will probably want to have a talk with you in New York. That's a good idea.
That's a wonderful idea.
I'll do it.
We'll close with this. I need a request filled. I need you to send Keith Stratford and Rod West back to hell.
Lord have mercy.
Because of the way they're sucking off LeBron and throwing it in our faces. Face, get rid of him, please. Please.
Okay, well, I'll try.
Goodness gracious. What the heck did my partner ask for?
We know that home is calling you, Keith. Open up your mind and your skull and realize, don't you hear it? Shh, don't you hear it? Hell is calling you back home. Hell is awaiting. Stop ignoring it. Put down the liquor. You have your earthly possessions. It's calling you back home. Me. I'm the one that can bring you back home. Close your eyes. You're not supposed to look at this. Just close your eyes. I said, not when I open. Close thy eyes.
Why?
And why? Why this is happening? Because it's calling you.
Oh my gosh.
It's calling you back home. So all I have to say to you is open your skull and close your eyes.
Only my partner.
Because hell awaits. And you get home through me. Dominoes, dominoes.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I needed that. And now this word from Stupid University.
So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, Stupid University. Yeah, all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid University, where everyone graduates. Magna cum stupid.
I like how Cole says graduates.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The whole voiceover was who's that guy?
John Houseman.
Yeah, thank you. John Houseman like. Mm-hmm. And he put the on stupid at the end of it. Magna cum stupid.
I came close to actually changing stupid to the Latin word for it.
Yeah.
But I heard it back before I did it, and I was like, nah. The way I deliver stupid, it sounds much better.
But stupid people wouldn't know what the hell you're talking about.
And then
there was no point even saying it.
And then that's exactly what was the big time deciding factor. I was like, stupid people really wouldn't know what the Latin term for stupid is, so keep it stupid.
Yeah, they don't know their left and their right shoes in the morning, so to put them on. So let alone something Latin.
And you found some of the perfect pictures for that ad.
Thank you.
That was nice. I love that spot.
Thank you.
Chris
man. You
Bates
did a
joining
bang-up
us
job,
as
man.
he always does each and every Friday to close out the show and close out the week. We love you, brothers, so much. Thank you,
man.
Thank you, and thank you. That's all we can say. Thank you.
Well, all I can say is thank you, and thank you in return. Thank all of you for letting me do this. It is always strange to me. I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about, but it happens. And so I thank you for allowing me to be myself again. Have a great weekend. Try to enjoy the All-Star weekend. If not, don't worry about it. Go somewhere and scratch and have a hamburger or something like that.
Chris Bass, a.k.a. Sly Stone.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We love you, Bass. Thank you so much.
Love you more. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Boozer finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container because I need some after watching Screaming Nate Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
Oh my gosh. You had to go there, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Because I'm tired.
Goodness gracious.
We got through the week.
Yes.
And A Pizzle's applauding. Thank you, A Pizzle.
Thank you, A Pizzle.
Drew had fun when
oh yeah.
It's called Hell Awaits.
And you
get home through
me.
That's our line of the week. And you get home through me. We had a great week. We hope y'all did too.
Yeah.
Back on Monday with more madness. Jay Spivey and of course Ryan McCoffey will join us on Mondays. And we're going to widen the guest list a little bit as we work on expansion. Yes, expansion is coming to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. For Cole Johnson and everybody in the Fanatics Feedback Zone, have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
then they are not big enough.
Remember that, Bronzexuals. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. We're on our way to our first 6-figure year at Snowman Multimedia and Comey Media. And I gladly put the ampersand in that partnership. We're out of here. See you Monday.
Wait.
Don't forget the Sports Senseis at 1:05 and the Brian Snow Show at 6:05 Eastern Time tonight. Ron James, the greatest of all time.
Wait, you mean Brown Sox has realized they're not